Hi guys, thanks for waiting. This is part 7 of What If Naruto Was Kamen Rider Faiz. So let's start. Chapter 16. Team 7 and 12 entered the academy and saw Team 9. They greeted each other. Tenten then whispered, "When we reach the second floor, I'm gonna fake acting that floor is the third floor. So I need you guys to play dumb and just go to the third floor. Azumo and Kotetsu have been assigned to fool them. Lessens the competition." The two teams nodded as they headed for the third floor. As the three teams entered, Tenten started her act and was almost going to succeed. Well, we have number 1 Uchiha Sasuke to thank for that. Yuki and Suki scolded their brother, Barker. "It was to weed out the weaklings. You just made the chance of us passing harder." Sasuke said, "How was I supposed to know?" Kiba said, "I did tell him about that, but he wanted to rub it into the faces of those who didn't spot it." Yuki and Suki sighed and rubbed their temples. They seriously had an idiot for a brother, albeit an adoptive one. Then, a loud voice yelled, "Sasuke-kun." Then a blonde and purple blur appeared crashing into the Uchiha, followed by Sakura, who jumped on the boy as well. A guy with specs and white hair walked to them. "Seriously, this ain't a field trip. You make the exams look like a joke, and more importantly, us. Please tone it down." Naruto narrowed his eyes. "Name." The guy chuckled, "Well, since you asked so nicely, I'm Yakushi Kabuto. Tell you what, since we're Konoha Nin and you're all rookies, I'll give you some information. Anyone in particular you wanna know?" Sasuke smirked and said out loud, "Yes. I want info on Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto and Sabaku no Gaara." Naruto wanted to punch the lights out of this idiot now. As soon as his name was mentioned, several Iwa shinobi whipped their heads in his direction and glared at him, who glared back with more intensity, making them flinch and turned away. Kabuto chuckled, "Name already, this is so boring. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. He left the village at the age of 9. Throughout the years, he got captured by Iwa with a man called Narumi Sokichi, aka the Skull. Naruto then escaped and killed a huge portion of Iwa's forces and gained a ranked status for almost killing Roshi, Jinchuriki of the Yonbi. His entry in the bingo book is Kamen Rider Faiz. Holy shit. It is also said that he trained under Momochi Zabuza and learned the Amagiri Shinmei-ru Kenjutsu. This got the attention of the Kiri Nin. Kabuto was about to continue when the info card in his hand suddenly burst into flames. Kabuto looked up and saw Naruto sheathing the Faiz edge. Kabuto cursed, "Shit, Orochimaru-sama hasn't read it yet. We need info on his Gekkei Genkai, he'll be mad." Kabuto sighed, "Such a spoilsport, never mind." Onto Gaara, he is able to use sand at will. Killed at a young age, has done 40 D ranks, 30 C ranks and 15 B ranks. Never had a hit on him during the missions, otherwise, nothing noteworthy. Naruto, Hikari and Haruna then heard Kasumi's voice, "I sense 3 Yuchiriki here. The Gaara guy is Shukaku's Jinchuriki, those 2 Kumo Nin, the tall black guy and the blonde girl are Jinchuriki of the Nibi and Hachibi. I won't need to worry about those 2, I was close to the both of them. As for Shukaku, be wary of him." The 3 nodded back as smoke came out in the front of the room, and out came a scarred-faced man with a bandana on his head. He said, "Now, the test is about to start, so get to your seats, pronto." The Genin quickly went to their assigned seats. Naruto found himself sitting with Hinata and Suki. In front was Yuki and behind were his sisters and Haku. He was basically surrounded by his girlfriends. What luck. Soon Ibuki told them the rules, well, you know them, and distributed the papers. Ibuki said once more, "You have an hour and a half, now begin." Naruto looked at the papers and saw that they were all Chunin questions and Naruto had read about it in the clan library, so he quickly wrote down the answers in 20 minutes. He scanned the room and found people cheating. His sisters were no doubt talking with Kasumi. Yuki and Suki as well as Sasuke were copying answers with the hand movements while Hinata and Neji were using the Byakugan. He looked up and saw Lee, Tenten and Haku using mirrors to get the answers, well, ice mirrors in Haku's case. Kiba was getting answers from Akamaru. Shino was using Kakaichu bugs to get answers while Gaara was using a sand-made third eye. Ibuki looked at the Genin and thought, most of them are good, though not enough. Suddenly, a kunai flew past Naruto hitting the table of a Kiri Genin. The boy stood up and said, "What's the big idea?" The Chunin that threw the kunai said, "You were caught cheating for more than 5 times. Get your teammates and yourself out of here." Number 50, 51, 52, fail. 2 other genin stood up and left with the guy. Then Kankuro raised his hands. "Can I use the washroom?" Ibiki nodded as Kankuro walked out and came back in with a Chunin. Coincidentally, Kankuro suddenly got the answers as he wrote it down. Ibiki smirked at Kankuro knowingly as he knew exactly what Kankuro had done. He then looked outside the window where a few Junin were gathering on the roof. On the roof, Kushina, Mikoto, Asuma, Kakashi, Kurnai and Anko were talking. Asuma said, "Great, they're so gonna fail now." Ibiki's the proctor. Kurnai, who had just turned Junin when the genin teams were made, didn't have a clue who was Ibiki, and asked, "Why?" Anko smiled at her friend and said, "You just turned Junin a few months back, of course you wouldn't know." "See, Ibiki is our top interrogator, with me being the second as he's my sensei. Ibiki can make prisoners crack in less than an hour in a cell with mind games. And if I know him, which I do, he'd use mind games to play with the genin, making him unknowingly volunteer to give up the chances of becoming Chunin this year." Kushina and Mikoto smirked. "Well, we wouldn't worry about our teams." Kakashi deadpanned. "Your team has Naruto in it." Kushina nay. "Who got a rank status already now?" "Earlier than any of us in terms of age." Kushina smiled. "True." Kakashi continued, "And with Naruto, Mikoto-sama's team won't quit with Naruto keeping their confidence up." Mikoto also smiled at the Cyclops since she didn't need to worry about her team unlike the others. Back with Naruto, he saw that he still had an hour and started to sleep. Ibiki and the Chunin as well as Naruto's girlfriends all sweat dropped as Naruto started snoring, with a bubble coming out of his nose as he did so. Soon, the time was up and Naruto woke up as Ibiki shouted, "Time's up, pencils down, kid wake the fuck up." Naruto sat up groggily and said, "What, it's time." Ibiki ignored him and said, "Good, now it's time for the 10th question. Now, there are gonna be rules. Number 1, if you choose to take this question, you will either pass or never get the chance to be Chunin or higher." A random genin from Iwe shouted, "That's ridiculous." There were others who took the test before. Ibiki said as he looked at the boy, "Then they have never had me as the proctor. This is my rules now. So take it or leave it. I will give you a chance to back out and fail this time. But take the exam another time." Soon, a whole bunch of teams dropped out. All that's left is the Konoha Genin rookie teams and Kabuto's team, Gaara's team, the Kumo Jinchurika's teams, 2 Iwe teams, 2 Kiri teams, an Oto teams, 2 Kusa teams and 2 Am teams. Ibiki said once more, "Anyone else? Keep in mind this is your last chance." Naruto looked around and felt it was a good number with less competition, so he laughed. Ibiki narrowed his eyes. "What's so funny, boy?" Naruto stopped his laughter and said, "The fact that your bluff is so stupid it actually works. You do know that we can get a field promotion or just get one if our own cage deems us ready, right? Plus, are you really gonna believe that the cage of other villages will forbid their genin from advancing, preventing their forces from growing stronger? Well, in us Konoha genin's cases, you could, but as for the other villages, it's a fucking freaking noob idea." Ibiki wanted to smack the kid for saying that about his ideas, but he only twitched his hands. Naruto's girlfriends on the other hand were fearing for the blonde boy since they knew exactly who it was that Naruto was berating. Ibiki then said, "I could use an idea that would make you immediately drop out, but I'll let this slide once since you do have a point and actually thought of it. So, all I have to say to you now is, you pass." Sasuke, Sakura and Kiba, who knew what was coming, Ibiki and surprisingly Naruto, counted in their minds along with his sisters and Kasumi, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. The whole class erupted. "What?" The girl from Suna said, "Then where is the 10th question?" Naruto sighed, "There is no 10th question. Well, technically, the take or leave option is the 10th question, right, Scarface?" Ibiki ignored the Scarface comment and said, "What the blonde smart ass said, the 10th question is the take or leave option. In missions, there are times where you'll have to make tough choices. You'll either choose the mission and risk your life and team, or you save your team and yourself and forsake the mission. The choices I gave you were based on that. you either take the question, which is the mission, or you get the promotion next time, which is your lives. I know that the Shinobi Code says to live as long as you can, but sometimes, you must risk it, and you just showed the requirements for a Chunin. So, all I have to say is... He didn't say anything as a black object came flying in. It opened up to be a banner that said, Mitarashi Anko, Proctor number 2 is here. A woman followed in and shouted, so, let's go to the second stage, yeah. She pumped her fist as a crow flew by calling, Barker, Barker. Ibuki sighed, Anko, you're early. Anko smiled sheepishly, am I? Sorry about that. 20 teams, you're losing your touch. I'll cut them in half. So, as I said, let's go to the next stage, Training Ground 44. After a while, and by a while, I mean half an hour, the Genins finally gathered at the training ground. Anko said, so, welcome, to Training Ground 44, otherwise known as the Shi no Mori. Thunder erupted from within the forest and scared the wits out of the Genin there, well, some of them. Naruto then said out loud, it's been a while since I came here. Anko raised an eyebrow, thinking, so he's taking the exams, huh? I thought he'd take the promotion Hokage-sama offered him, since he's an A-rank shinobi, killed Iwa's forces like his father. Outside she said, oh. She suddenly threw a kunai at the reminiscing boy who just raised his fingers and caught the kunai in the ring with his index finger, before putting the Faiz edge behind himself, right where Anko's neck was. The Genin all had widened eyes as they didn't even sense the woman move and that Naruto counted her quickly. Anko got away from Naruto and continued, so, after you sign this, which is an agreement case you die and we won't be held responsible, you'll get a scroll, either 10 or Tsuchi. To pass the test, you need both and reach the tower. I'll warn you, though, do not open the scrolls if you have both before you reach the tower and do not open them if you have only one. On missions, you may get important documents and you are not to open them, I'm sure you know that, right? Getting nods, she told him to hop to it. After that, all the teams were assigned to their respective gates. Anko said via a microphone, now, I'm sure everyone is at their gates. So, begin. The gates flew open as the Genin, Chunin hopefuls all rushed into the forest. Chapter 17. As soon as Naruto and his sisters got to a fair distance from the gates, he signaled them to stop and extended his senses to search for the Uchiha sister and Hinata's team. After a full minute, which was considered long by shinobi standards, well, that is if you're in a forest that is incredibly dangerous, in which case, they were. Naruto said, Hikari-chan, Haku-chan, Haruna-chan, Suki-chan, Hinata-chan and Yuki-chan are a mile due east. We'll join them and get our scrolls together, that okay? The girls nodded as the team of siblings, lovers, sped towards the east. As they jumped over the trees, screams of terror were heard as liquid splattering the ground was heard, creeping the two girls out. Naruto and Haku were indifferent as they had their fair share of kills. Soon, they finally reached the team and saw Team 11 with them. Yuki, Suki and Hinata smiled when they saw their fiancé's team. Team 11 didn't say anything as Sasuke wanted to live. Sakura was too occupied with fawning over Sasuke while Sai was merely observing Team 7. Yuki said, now Naruto-kun is here. We should work together to get our own scrolls. Would be faster that way, right? Team 12 and 7 nodded. Team 11 wanted to protest but one quick glare from Suki shut him up, before nodding as well. As Hinata was searching the area with Naruto extending his senses, they found the AM teams and Iwa teams together coming their way, fast. Naruto smirked. Well, looks like we've got a 4-on-3 match coming right up. As if on cue. A male voice was heard. Damn right you are, we AM teams are getting the scrolls while the Iwa teams are just gonna pound you namikaze idiots into the ground. The Iwa Genin all grunted in approval as the obvious leader said, you'll pay for what your bastard of a father did to us, and you yourself, damn bastard. Naruto said in reply, I don't care if you hate us for our father, but you Iwa fuckers killed the man I looked up as my father. I won't stop until every one of you are slaughtered. He then immediately went into Orphenic form holding the Madagabayu and charged them. The other Genin decided to deal with the AM teams. The Iwa Genin all shot Earth Jutsu at the Dino-themed Orphenic, but he battered them away like they were flies, sometimes cutting them in half. He slammed the axe into one of the genin and decapitated the poor boy. Well, he deserved it, in Naruto's opinion. Naruto turned to another and unleashed a blast of cold air, giving Haku an advantage for her ice jutsu in the process. The Iwe genin was frozen from bottom to the top, before he was broke into a million pieces from Naruto slamming the frozen genin with his tail. The other Iwe genin shouted, "You'll pay for that, you bastard." Naruto replied, "I'd like to see you try. Even the best of your so-called shinobi forces couldn't stand up to me as I killed all of them in my weakest form. How in the 9 fucking hells do the 6 of you weak genins can ever hope to even scratch me in one of my strongest forms?" He sent the shoulder spikes and impaled 2 of the genin in the hearts, instantly killing them. He turned to the last 2 genin standing. Raising his axe, he focused energy into the blade and said, "Blame your elders for being too arrogant. They couldn't beat my father during the war. They couldn't beat me a few years ago. You were freaks sure as hell have no hope in beating us now." He swung the blade. A larger blade of energy came out the axe, cutting the 2 remaining Iwe genin in half. This is like AG using the many cell medals and cutting Professor Maki in the final battle. Except it succeeds in killing the targets unlike in U. When the fight started, Team 7, well the girls of the team anyway, handled the first AM team with Team 12 while Team 11 fought the other team. After the wave of cold air blasted the area, Haku started to use her ice mirrors, HYOTON, MAKYOUHYOSHO. The mirrors appeared as Haku stepped into them. Haku was the best to fight the AM teams since they used water-based jutsu. Well, AM was basically a weaker version of Kiri, in terms of shinobi forces anyway, the leaders of both villages. Well, Kiri can never hope to win against the leader of AM, cough peen cough. So, the first team was soon porcupined, their scrolls taken. As for Team 11, well, they were having a hard time. Sakura was useless, only shrieking when Sasuke was about to get hurt. Come to think of it, her damn screaming distracted the AM team with ear ruptures, so in a weird, stupid way, she was useful. Sasuke was careless and always let an opening slip by and would have been killed if Sakura hadn't come to the rescue with her damn banshee voice. Sai, he was the best for now. Using the paint jutsu he used, he was able to fight a 2-on-1 battle and winning. Naruto, the rest of Team 7 and Team 12 looked at the pathetic fight. Well, you can't call it a fight since it was so stupid even academy students could do it if you taught them the jutsu used. Then you can do a reenactment of the fight, exactly the same way. None of it will have to be changed. Soon, the fight ended in Team 11's victory. Luckily, they got all their required scrolls and were heading to the tower. As the teams were jumping through trees, Sai was suddenly blasted away from the group. The group was surprised when a woman dropped down and spoke. An branded Hyuga, 3 Uchiha, 2 of the Kyuubi vessels, 1 Hayaton user and 1 Ride Gear user. I could take all of the Dujutsu and get the final one to strengthen my own. As for the vessels, I could get the Akatsuki off me with them. They all slid into battle stances as Naruto went into Faiz form. The woman licked her lips with her tongue like a snake. Naruto's eyes widened as he knew only one person could do that. He growled, "Orochimaru." The woman laughed and ripped off her mask, face, revealing the snake Sannin. He smiled at the rider. "I still haven't paid you back for stealing my specimens, Naruto-kun." Naruto said nothing to the Sannin. He addressed the others. "I want you to stay out of the fight. I'm not sure if I can take him on myself, so you guys have no chance at all. Stay safe, and do not interfere if you want your lives. Sasuke especially, your sisters love you and I won't let them get sad even if I dislike you. Capiche, everyone." They nodded as Naruto leaped at Orochimaru who had his smile on. Naruto threw a punch as Orochimaru dodged. "You're quite slow, Naruto-kun. I heard you killed a whole portion of Iwa's forces. I wonder what made you do it. Perhaps it had something to do with Mr. Narumi Sokichi." Naruto growled. "You have no right to say his name." He drew the Faiz edge as Orochipido drew the Kusanagi and parried the energy blade. The group noticed Naruto was getting more aggressive every second. He was usually calm and collected, so it meant this Narumi Sokichi meant a lot to Naruto for the blonde to actually lose his cool in a fight. Orochimaru smirked and laughed. "I know you're holding back. I know you defeated your father. But you'll come to see this is your downfall." He caught Naruto off guard by wrapping the blonde's armored hand with his long tongue before coating all of his fingers with a purple fire, yelling, "Gogyo Fuin." And the Sannin slammed his hand onto Naruto's stomach before he could react, blasting the blonde away into a tree. Orochimaru then looked at the remaining. He smirked, "Now, for you." His neck extended and bit Sasuke, but before he could do the others, Naruto shot out of the tree he was slammed into and knocked the Sannin away in Orphenic form. He growled out, pressing his axe and sword against the Kusanagi. He growled, "You will not touch any of my girls." Unknown to everyone, inside of Naruto, the two mountains were releasing energy at the same time, a result of the seal which was destroyed immediately. But the effects were done, not messing Naruto's chakra like it was supposed to, but messing with his other. The energy collided. In the middle of the energies, where the two met, a small object was sprouting out of the ground, slowly but surely, releasing a red energy. Back outside, Orochimaru cursed. He only marked Sasuke, but he couldn't mark the others. Damn that Minato's son. He could also feel Naruto slowly overpowering him, so he did the only thing he could, escape. After Orochimaru vanished via Kawarimi, Naruto saw that Sasuke had passed out and he felt a weird energy before it faded away. He said tiredly, "Why not we rest a while here, for the night? We've got 4 more days left anyway. I can set up a barrier around us. I'm too tired to move on anyway." Everyone nodded as they went to find a spot, not noticing 2 males and 1 female following him closely, masking their presence well enough to not get caught. Naruto and the others found a tree large enough with a small cave in it that was somehow enough to fit 9 people. Naruto made the seal and put it on a tree, making a barrier with a 20-meter diameter. Unknown to anyone, the 3 genin that followed them were inside the barrier and were resting on a tree top at the edge of the barrier, deciding to make their move the next day. The next day, Naruto and the others were up. Well, Sasuke was still asleep, so they decided to rest up more for a little while. Well, the girls and Sai went back to sleep anyway. Naruto suddenly felt 3 presences in the barrier. He ran out and saw the 3 Oto genin. One was a boy with gauntlets, another was a boy with a helmet, for the lack of a better word, which was like the Nidami, and finally, a black-haired girl who was carrying bags. Looking at the boys, they were carrying too little equipment, so that would mean the girl was carrying the load for them, and she didn't like it or the 2 boys. Naruto narrowed his eyes. "How did you get in here? I felt no one even getting through my barrier." The gauntlet boy laughed. "We were in it the first place. You made it with a 10-meter radius. Of course we could get in. We only needed to mask our presence." Now, before you ask, Naruto was too tired so he didn't sense them. The helmet boy then said, "Now, if you'll let us kill the male Uchiha, we'll then be off." Naruto shook his head. "If you kill him, Yuki-chan and Suki-chan will get sad, even if I don't like that bastard. So no, I won't let you kill him." The 2 boys then smirked. The girl was slightly scared from the look of her face. The boys said, "We were hoping you'd say that." Then they charged. Naruto, fully rested up, just smacked them around the barrier for full minutes before letting them drop to the ground. The gauntlet boy growled, "Why are you standing there, you damn bitch? Help us defeat this guy." The girl couldn't move quick enough to even fight and said, "How can I move with these?" The helmet boy growled, "Just help us. Tayuya isn't here to save you, bitch." Naruto sighed. He wasn't a cold-hearted bastard. Looking at this, he was going to smack the boys for insulting the girl, even if they were enemies. If there was something Mito and Sokichi taught the blonde, it was that no men, or boys, should ever treat a girl like shit, unless they were fangirls, and Naruto knew from the look on the girl she wasn't a fangirl, unlike a pink Bashi and the blonde bitch whose parents were trying to get through, with no avail. Ino will still be a fangirl, only not berating others for being stronger or not giving what Sasuke wants, just fawns over him. Suddenly, a dark purple torrent of chakra came out of the tree, instantly knocking out the non-suspecting girls and Sai who were too close and undefended from the chakra, sending them into a deeper sleep, again. Sasuke walked out, marks on his body. The gauntlet guy had his eyes shrink in fear. A curse mark user? Fuck, Orochimaru didn't say anything about a curse mark, he used us. Zaku was about to say something but couldn't as Sasuke had appeared in front of the 2 and had stabbed their necks with kunai, killing them. Looking at the girl, he strode towards her, and was about to rip off her clothes as the girl backed away but was stopped by Naruto. He asked, "What are you doing, Sasuke?" He said the sentence in a dangerous tone. He hated rapists since they were the lowest of shit in the types of people. Sasuke glared at the blonde. "You should mind your own business." "You damn traitor." Naruto said nothing as he threw the Uchiha onto the ground, walking up to the idiot and gave a chakra-enhanced kick on the stomach, knocking the boy out, making the marks recoil back into the seal that was now visible on the neck. He then looked at the girl. "What's your name?" The girl replied, "Tsuchi-kin." Naruto nodded. "Sorry about your teammates. Since they're dead, you should come with us to the tower." Kin nodded. "Also, I want to defect to Konoha, if that's fine." Naruto quirked an eyebrow. "Why?" Kin said, fidgeting her fingers. "Well, you see, there is a guy called Orochimaru who came to my village. He took control and made the place a living hell. My sister and I trained as his shinobi, she became his elites and I am still a genin. I can't take it anymore. When we came here, I saw how this place is. I want to live here, away from Oto." Naruto then asked, "What about your sister?" Kin said, "I can convince her. There is an invasion planned by Orochimaru and Suna during the finals. I want to tell the Hokage when I transfer to Konoha." Naruto nodded. "Fine, I can get an audience with my father for you. Now, just rest, you'll need it." Kin gaped as she was having a conversation with the Hokage's son, and felt lucky as she might get the chance she wanted, then followed the boy to rest. Chapter 18. The two sisters nodded and woke everyone up. Naruto said, "Well, I'm sure most of you are confused why I'm keeping Kin here. She has info on someone my father and the two other Sanin wants dead. Plus she's planning on defecting, so I decided to just help a potential ally as such." Sakura then screeched, "But her team wanted to kill Sasuke-kun, she should be punished." Naruto looked at the Banshee. "Your precious Sasuke tried to rape her, if I hadn't stepped in." Sakura replied, "He is the descendant of Uchiha Madara, he can do anything." Sasuke nodded and said, "She should be honored to give birth to my child." The girls, well the true kunoichi anyway, all glared at him. The civilian council's crap had grown in him. He was going to receive another beatdown soon. The civilian council's not-so-secret plan was known by every Uchiha as well as the Uzumaki Namikaze and Hyuga clan, which was gaining the favor of one direct descendant of Uchiha Madara, aka Uchiha Sasuke, and get him to challenge Uchiha Itachi for the clan head status, and finally getting the sway of the Uchiha clan on the council. To be honest, this could be seen as treason, but they had no proof at the moment. Hearing this, Naruto stepped forward and smacked her, sending her flying across the small space of the tree cave, also causing the tree to shudder at the impact. The girls all were shocked as well as Sasuke seeing Naruto acting so aggressive. The blonde growled, "If he had raped Kin, I'd have killed him. Rapists are one of the things I despise. When I was away from the village, I witnessed a girl raped, and she begged the man who raped her to kill her. She was miserable and had killed herself. I regretted not saving her that time." Naruto glared at Sasuke. "You're lucky your sisters and your brother love you. But your parents will hear of this. Yuki-chan, Suki-chan, I hope you two will act as witnesses." The sisters nodded and said, "Sasuke tried to rape a girl. That's unforgivable. We'll act as witnesses, Naruto-kun. Hope this teaches you a lesson, Sasuke." Naruto then continued, "Let's go." The group then started their journey, which was unnaturally silent and uneventful, aside from the screams of terror heard occasionally. Then, Naruto felt a presence and held up his hand, signaling the group to stop. He said, "Hinata-chan. Use your Byakugan. Check the area." She did so and said, "I see a Konoha team near us, but there's something wrong. It's like they're planning to ambush us." Naruto said nothing and just leaped into the direction. Screams were heard as Naruto came back holding two scrolls, blood visible on his black jacket and shirt. Hikari and Haruna gasped, "Anai-chan, you killed them." "They were Konoha nin." Naruto shook his head. "No, they are our enemy. I'm sure Kin saw the three of them at least once in Oto." Kin nodded and said, "They are one of Orochimaru's top spy teams. Orochimaru sent them here years ago. It's surprising how they sent info to Orochimaru and still kept their cover here." Naruto sighed. "That's because the village's security is lax. Thanks to the civilian council. He said the last part, glaring daggers at Sakura, who said nothing and glared back. Sakura said, "What is your problem with me and Sasuke-kun?" Truth to be told, the seal had messed up Naruto's energy, at the same time messing with his emotions, even if it's for a few days only, but no one knows that. Naruto replied, "It's people like you who make a bad name for shinobi. You civilians act like you own this place, when it's the shinobi who created the place. Your fucking civilian council has been a thorn to shinobi for years. I've been to other villages, their civilian councils are the same, though without so much power. Their security is tight, unlike ours. You think I'm a normal genin? Think again. I know what that whore of your mother did to ensure you civilians can get your way, make more money while at the same time destroying our village." Sakura yelled, "Ka-san isn't like that." Naruto replied, "No. Do you know why your mother hates my family so much? Do you know that the council is corrupted because of the civilian council? Do you know that our village is heading towards bankruptcy? Do you fucking know our village is about to get invaded because your damn fucking mother and her fuck buddies lowered our security so much that an invasion could happen and we can't fight back in time?" Sakura was shocked that Naruto yelled at her. Naruto continued in a calm voice, "No, you don't. After the exams, if the village still stands, look around and observe the security, all of you. There are many things you don't know about your parents, Sakura. Things that will forever change your view of them. Your mother once tried to tear apart my parents, but had an epic fail. Think about that. I dislike you and Sasuke, true, but I still care for the village, or at least who's inside it. The civilian council is destroying the place, and if the adults won't take action in time, I will kill them." Sakura was speechless as they continued their journey. Some unknown area, a pink-haired woman was sitting at the head of a dark room with many other people. She said, "Good, soon we will reach our goal. We will take what we rightfully deserve, and I will have my revenge on those two bitches for corrupting Minato and Fugaku. We will retake our rightful position and put those damn shinobi beneath us, where they're supposed to." The other people nodded in agreement as they continued with their plan. Back with the group, they finally reached the tower. Naruto saw the sign and read. He then turned to the group and said, "Take out your sets of scrolls, open them and put them on the ground in cross formation." Sasuke said, "Why should we listen to you?" Naruto looked at him. "I'm not in the mood now, Sasuke. If you wanna bitch around, do it when you're dead. But now, don't piss me off, or you'll get to experience how I killed Kabuto and his team. And don't say that your sisters might hate me and I won't kill you, I know that. But if you don't stop act like that, despite what will happen between me and your sisters, I will kill you." Naruto turned away and unrolled the scrolls and placed them in X formation. As he was doing this, his girlfriends were surprised why Naruto was acting like this. He was unusually violent, more easy to anger. They then thought about what Orochimaru did to him, slamming those fire-coated fingers on his stomach. Maybe that had something to do with his unusual behavior. They were gonna have to ask Minato later. As soon as he was done, from the 3 sets of scrolls, smoke came out and 3 figures appeared. They were the 3 teams' respective sensei. Kushina, Mikoto and Kakashi smiled at him. "Ah, I see you 3 teams decided to work together and got here on the 3rd day. Impressive," Naruto said. "We would have gotten here earlier if it wasn't for that damn Orochimaru." Mikoto laughed. "Very funny, Naruto." The 3 Chunin then saw their faces and said, "You're serious?" They nodded. Kushina then said, "Then you'll have to come to see Mina-kun." "Oh, who's this young lady?" Naruto replied, "She's Tsuchi-kin, part of the team Orochimaru sent to kill Sasuke, but he killed her teammates and was about to rape her. He also had weird markings on him." Kin also has info on Orochimaru and Oto and Suna planning to invade us during the final stage of the exams. The Chunin nodded as Mikoto looked at her adoptive son disapprovingly. "We're gonna have a talk with your father, young man." They then went in and headed for the Hokage's temporary office in the tower. Minato smiled as he saw the teams. Kushina said, "Mina-kun, they encountered Orochimaru in the forest and Sasuke has the curse mark now. Kin here also has info on Oto and Suna invading us and wants to defect to Konoha." Minato nodded and called for Jiraiya via Anbu. Minato then said, Tell me all about your encounter with Orochimaru. The teams reported everything they knew and Minato sighed. Naruto, we're gonna check if there is anything wrong with you. They also said you're acting unusually violent just now. We'll need to research on that. We'll take care of the invasion, nothing you need to worry about for now. As for Kin, I'm sorry, but aside from you becoming a slave or someone's wife here, I can't do anything to let you defect. Kin looked down, then said, anything, just don't send me back to Oto. Minato nodded, fine, since Naruto brought you here, you will now be Naruto's official slave. Though you'll be treated normally, the slave thing is just a name, plus, if I know my son, he won't treat you badly. You will live at the compound with Haku here. Haku nodded and smiled at Kin, who smiled back. Kin also blushed as she heard of being a slave to Naruto, who she found to be quite handsome. Naruto sighed and nodded, fine. Minato smiled, now that's settled, I think you should go rest up. You've had a long day. They didn't disagree as they went to the rooms in the tower. Hikari and Haruna smiled evilly at their brother as they pulled him into the room, locking it. Unknown to any of them, Jiraiya was outside by the window using the transparency jutsu and was giggling perversely while writing down notes, blood dripping off his nose. To be continued.